the more that you take action, the more that you start to have some small wins, the higher your confidence level is going to become. And ultimately, on the back of that confidence increasing, the amount of energy and effort that you put towards what you're pursuing is going to increase, which is ultimately going to increase your results.
Guys, I'm Silvia Galati, and if you want to get started with e-commerce and make money with your e-commerce business, you are in the right place. So today I have a super special guest that is an expert in e-commerce and dropshipping, and is Earnest Epps. Hi, Ernest. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Thank you so much for being here with us today, Ernest. So guys, let me introduce my guest. Ernest is an international speaker, digital marketing expert, CEO of High Ticket Ecom Secrets. He has 10 years of experience in marketing and sales, and he helps people to run successful online e-commerce businesses. I hope that I didn't forget nothing.
No, that's the short version.
Great. So, Ernest, the first question is talk about yourself, about your experience, when and how did you get started in this field, your background, your education.
Yeah, pretty much, for me, it's not a really complicated, process. It's like really like most people, I was actually working in corporate America. I was climbing up the ladder, striving to, make that like the thing I would do for my life, right? That's the process that my mom kind of taught us growing up. And so that's the trajectory that I went. So with that being said, I got very frustrated at that process, simply because, I got laid off from one company before. The last cover was the thing that really made me look at trying to do something else. Was I got fired from a company, and I was I was a sales director for a marketing firm, and it just really it kind of broke my soul. That's like the nice way to say it, right? I was so frustrated and hurt by that happening that it actually put like I went through a state of depression for like 2 years,
Wow.
and it just got really bad. So, inevitably I had to do something because I had 3 kids, one on the way. Account was getting depleted month after month, right? And my fiance was just like, hey, if you don't figure something out, you're either going to have to get out of here or go figure this thing out in terms of providing for the family. So, I love my family, and so I decided to actually do something. And I got a job, but when I got that job, I questioned myself, like, would the same thing possibly happen to me again? And so that's when I started looking at other things that I could do. I narrowed it down to like real estate, stock market, and e-commerce, specifically drop shipping, and like the lowest barrier entry with resources, money, knowledge, with the most amount of upside. I just seen, e-commerce and drop shipping as that vehicle for myself. So yeah, I dove in. Within the first few months of getting started, I was able to replace my full-time income.
That's great.
Retire myself. Yeah. Retire my fiance. And it wasn't easy. Like, I know when some people see that and they hear these stories of success from multiple different types of people, it may seem like it was like easy and it was an overnight wonder, but it was a lot of stressful situations that happened. But I just decided, instead of fall back, I decided to push in and like really force my way to success. Like, I was just sick and tired of being sick and tired. Even when I was working in corporate, it wasn't like I was balling, I was still living practically paycheck to paycheck. It wasn't like my check was having like, I can run a campaign now these days and make an extra $10,000 profit. Like, I couldn't do that at a job, So yeah, that's kind of what happened. I've been invited to speak all over the world. I've probably spoken in about 8 or 9 different countries at this point. Constantly being flown in to speak on stage. So
were you introverted or not?
cool.
Were you an introverted person or not? How did you start
Um,
as a professional speaker? We have to say.
well, it just kind of happened as a result of me just serving people, serving people, helping people, not really looking for like a really like big upside to it. Honestly, I had no idea to coach or as a speaker, like really, like I didn't know people really made a lot of money doing that stuff. I knew it existed, but I didn't think it could exist for me.
Yeah. Sure, that's amazing.
So yeah, no, you can go ahead.
No, sorry. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh no, you're fine. It was just that for me personally, it's just as a result of just doing a really great job. Like if you one of the videos that I've most commonly have been known for that went viral on YouTube, where I spoke at Affiliate World Conferences in 2017. A couple thousand people there, and I just delivered a really great message. And that's the core part is like when you deliver really, really good content and you're passionate about it and you know how to connect with the message, the results of being able to have more of those opportunities present themselves naturally happens. And that's what it was for me.
Yeah, sure. When you share great value to the people and not just pitching, this is the best outcome in the future because you are giving to people and they will come back to you, obviously, to buy your stuff, no matter in which field are you, e-commerce, affiliate marketing, or other business online and offline, of course. So, as we said, you are an expert in e-commerce. For a beginner, what is the first step, or what are the first steps that they have to do to build their e-commerce business? And it's a difficult business to build or not?
Yeah, so obviously being on the other side of the process, I'm pretty sure you have people ask you like the same stuff in your field, right? It's just like, and for you, it's like, oh yeah, this is easy. You just do this, you do that, and like bam, it just all works, right?
Yeah, sure.
So with that being said, for me with e-com, it's kind of like the same thing right now. The thing is, I consider a lot of stuff just really simple processes, right? So the first, core essence of wanting to sell products online, especially doing drop shipping, contrary to what you might think with a lot of the experts on like YouTube and blogs and stuff like that. It's just like, oh yeah, just put up a website, go to this resource called like AliExpress or Alibaba. If you upload their products, you'll find somebody that'll want them. You could just turn on ads and you'll just get paid and print money on the computer. Right? Me, I take a more strategic approach to e-commerce, which separates me from everyone else, but it also increases my success rate with a lot of stuff that I do, as well as like, the students and clients and stuff that I eventually start to work with. And that is number one, identifying like, is there a really active market of people that actually want to buy the thing that you want to sell?
Okay.
Right. So a data-driven perspective from what the market says about it, not what I have to say, because that's two totally different things. Like I could think something could be a potentially good product, but if I go and do research on it, and let's just say maybe there's 200 people a month looking for it versus something else where there could be 100,000 people a month looking for it, just a number perspective, I'm going to have more success with the thing that's 100,000 people because there's just more people looking for it, right?
Yeah, sure. So basically, the first thing is to do detailed research on what the market wants.
Yeah, exactly. Doing market research is the first core phase, and then figuring out what type of products you want to sell, right? So for me, and I think there's always like these two consensus of, do something that you love or sell something that you love or that you're passionate about. And then the other opposite side of like, hey, it doesn't matter, just sell anything that can help make you money. Me personally, I'm the guy, I don't care, sell something that's gonna make you money. You don't gotta like it, you don't gotta love it. I've been in all different types of niches, from horse saddles, electric fireplaces. I'm not a horse person. And no offense if you like horses, if you like horseback riding or horse racing, I don't care. I don't care at all about horses. And I'm not being rude enough. That's just not my thing. But guess what I knew? I knew that there was a thriving market of people looking for horse saddles on the internet, which made it a good market, right? So that's the first initial phase. The next thing is identifying, that there's brands and suppliers that can actually drop ship the product for you, which is a really simple process, which is just really, this is the entire process. A lot of people try to overcomplicate this. But all I do when I want to identify, hey, is this product going to be drop ship friendly? Meaning if I decided to sell it, could I set up an agreement with the supplier to do the fulfillment for me so I don't have to like purchase a lot of products and stuff up front, right?
Yeah.
So with that, all I do is I go out and identify, if there's at least 2 to 3 other competitors online that are solely selling the products online, meaning that they don't have like a physical location. They don't say, hey, come to our warehouse or our showroom or that in order for, the products to get sold. And when they don't indicate any of that information, what that tells us indirectly, that means that they're more than likely drop shipping the product, meaning that the supplier is sending it direct to the
Okay.
consumer and they don't actually have to have any of the inventory in a warehouse or something of that nature, right? So
Okay.
once we identify that, we can now see all the brands that they have listed on their website, make a list of them, and then if we want to go into that market, we can contact them directly. And the most important thing is the fact we don't have to guess. Like when you contact them, hey, can you transfer me over to the account manager that handles all the dropship accounts? Well, guess what? You can have that level of confidence in the conversation because you've already done the market research and you know that they are dropship friendly, meaning that they'll dropship the product for you. So, yeah, those are the first
Yeah.
initial phases before like going into any particular market. Just making sure that there's actually suppliers that are dropship friendly. Making sure that there's an actual market and the market has demand for what it is that you want to sell before you start selling it, versus like doing all this work and possibly after the work doing the research and or just not doing it all together, which is most people. You start running ads and then you're like burning all this money in ads and you're not having any type of success, right? So
Yeah, sure. Yeah, then they say no, drop shipping is not working. It's happened in every online business. They start without a plan, and then they say no, this is not for me. No, e-commerce is not working, or affiliate marketing is not it's not good. I can start with another thing. Sometimes
Yep.
they are like searching for something, but they don't focus to build a business. So to plan to start with the foundation and then go ahead creating all the structure. This is the point, right? Then, so Ernest, I
Yep.
want to
I think the
ask you.
biggest challenge.
There are, yeah, sure.
No, I'll let you go and finish.
No. Go ahead, please.
No, I was just in total agreement of what you just said. Like I think the biggest challenge is when people look at just an online business, whether affiliate marketing, drop shipping, e-com, maybe digital courses, whatever the case is that they forget that because the barrier of entry is so much lower, they treat it like a hobby instead of treating it like a business because it's a hobby type price, right? Like
Yeah,
to go to the
exactly.
gym is only like $100 a month, so it's just like that's not that much, right? But like the investment into like to start a franchise, for example, like let's not even put like a McDonald's franchise because that's a lot of money, but like let's just maybe say like it's a Checkers or something like that. Now I don't know how much it costs, which Checkers is like a restaurant chain here in the U.S.
Okay.
But let's right, 300,000 to start something like that. You're invested, right? Like you're all in on that business. Versus if you invested $300, it's like it's only $300. So yeah.
Yeah, they don't. You said something great. They treat the business like a hobby, but isn't a hobby. So that's why a lot of people are unsuccessful in the online business. So it's not the problem the online business world because there are people like you, like me, that have a story, successes, also mistakes and failures. We have to be honest, but. If you treat your business like a hobby, you
Hmm.
won't go ahead so much longer. So now, what I want to
Yep,
ask to
you
you,
absolutely got that right.
what I want to ask to you right now is, do you have any suggestion for tools or website or apps while people that are starting building their e-commerce business they need to know?
Yeah, so my favorite tools, one of them in terms of like market research is a tool called Keywords Everywhere. And so with that
Okay.
tool, you can actually get a lot of the data in terms of seeing like how many people are actively looking for products every single month. The other thing it does too is it gives you like the recommended keywords like that other people are also putting in. So you can see, for example, like what are the other products that people are looking for in addition to that core product that you might want to sell. So for example, if you were to put in like electric fireplaces, it would also tell you that people who look for electric fireplaces also look for mantles. A mantle is what goes around an electric. Also tells you that people who buy an electric fireplace also look for electric fireplace TV stands. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
I've never bought an electric fireplace before. I didn't even know that they made TV stands for electric fireplaces, right? So
Okay.
to the point where we talked about earlier, right? The market is going to tell us, right? The data can tell us the
Sure.
information that we need to make educated decisions. And so that's one of my favorite tools. Another one is called SimilarWeb. And so SimilarWeb is really awesome because it's going to give you a lot of data and information, not only on the competitors that you're doing market, but also the other, like it sounds, similar websites. So you don't have to like go and scrape everything like one by one by one. You can find a really good competitor, and then it'll send you to the other websites and stuff, along with a lot of the data and stuff on that website, like organic information, pay traffic, which sources, where they're investing most of their marketing dollars towards. Again, guys, you
Yeah.
don't have to guess in the game of like, especially online, you can get all the data that you need to make confident
Yeah.
decisions.
True.
People ask me often, like, Ernest, well, how did you know that you need to focus on this particular channel? I'm like, well, I didn't. I just did research on it, and the market said that I needed to.
Yeah, sure. You're not a magician.
So specifically, yeah. Specifically with like the store itself, like you gotta have Google Analytics installed on your website. I mean, that's like
Okay.
one of the number one tools that you can have like to give you everything that you need in terms of guiding your decisions on what to do with your website, right? If you're brand new to selling physical products and it's your first time launching an e-com store, also installing Lucky Orange or Hotjar. They kind of do the same exact thing. What it's
Okay.
going to do is record every visitor that comes to your website so you can see the behavior of what every does, right? Again, we talked about not guessing on the front end with market research. Well, guess what? You don't have to guess on the back end too, in terms of knowing what your customers are doing. Like, look at the data inside of Google Analytics. Look at the data inside of Lucky Orange or Hotjar. See what people are actually doing, and see what type of experience that they have on your website, and then make decisions based off of like improving that. So
Yeah.
yeah, those are, I would say, like my top four. Two other ones would be Google Search Console and Bing Webmaster Tools. Just getting those integrated onto your site. So inevitably, it kind of makes the algorithms of those two systems, like with the search results, crawl your website on a regular basis, which is going to help you rank a little SEO perspective. So yeah.
Oh, that's great. Thanks for sharing. Let's talk about advertising. What are the most successful social media that you can suggest to newbies to start promoting their products for e-commerce?
Yep. So it's actually funny. You mentioned social media when I've never ran a Facebook ad before. Actually, I've never ran a
Wow.
social media ad.
Okay.
So I run all of my traffic on search networks, right? Google obviously is the powerhouse. AOL, Yahoo, Bing. I don't run any traffic on any type of social media stuff. And the reason why, and this is like why people always get shocked. Obviously, everyone knows that those are social media platforms are really great platforms, but the type of
Yeah.
traffic and the type of person that you get to your site from a search engine is a completely different type of person. Meaning that the main way that you get triggered on the search engine is when someone's actively looking for what you
Yeah.
have to sell. Like the whole
Okay.
job of the search engine is to put the most relevant information and products, especially when you're running ads on the shopping networks, in front of the consumers that are actively looking for them. So you only get triggered mainly for one or two reasons. Either A, someone's in the market looking for what you sell, or B, they're looking for exactly what you sell. They're either in the market or they're looking for exactly what you sell. One of those two people. So for example, if I'm selling electric fireplaces, I don't have to worry about getting in front of someone that's looking for a swimming pool, right? Like, so I'm never going to get pulled up for that person because I'm selling electric fireplaces, right? So the intent
Okay.
behind the customer is significantly higher and greater in a decision for them to purchase sooner rather than later versus identifying the, you know, audience and the behavior of that person and praying that the social, you know, platform can get me in front of that individual, right? I'd rather get in front of that
Yeah.
person right away that tells me that they actually want to get the thing that I have to sell.
Yeah, sure. Is it this more expensive or not compared to, because I can see on Facebook there are a lot of people that using Facebook, Instagram to promote their e-commerce products. So this is cheaper or more expensive, but of course, as you said, for sure the results are better because you are showing something that people really want. So
Yeah, typically on average, and I know this number is going to sound crazy because nobody really sees this consistently in Facebook land, but like it's just a fact. Prove this number, but most of my students and clients see on average about a 5 to 15x ROAS. And for somebody new listening to that, that means return on ad spend. That's a
okay,
crazy high number,
yeah,
especially
sure,
like to say consistently. Yeah, that's really high. But yeah, personally for me, I've had ROAS as high as 30x. And I know that sounds crazy. Somebody
yeah.
listening to this that's been in the game for a long time, you're probably like, Ernest is lying. That can't happen. That's not true. The data to show it. I've like shared my ad accounts, let people see inside of them. That's real. So yeah, it's really really
Amazing.
awesome when you get it dialed in.
Yeah, absolutely. So now I want to ask you, what do you think is the first mistakes beginners usually do with e-commerce and dropshipping?
Yeah, honestly, it's back to like the main core thing that we talked about, right? Not really the fact that like they don't have the skills. And here's the thing I love about the internet, right? Whether you're doing e-commerce, drop shipping, affiliate marketing, is the internet is not biased, meaning that it doesn't matter how much money you have, it doesn't matter what your background, education,
Yeah,
um,
age,
everyone
gender.
gets Yep, everyone gets treated the same, and we all have to learn how to have success online. To my knowledge, I'm not aware of any college, university, middle school, or high school that's teaching kids how to run Google ads or how to run Facebook
Okay.
ads or how to do Instagram shout out pages or how to, do search engine optimization. There's no no schools in the
Yeah.
world that's making
No,
that a
exactly.
required part of the curriculum, right? So
Yeah.
with that being said, we all come in at the same level, and I preface that because it all comes back to what we talked about earlier: people treating it like a hobby instead of treating
Yeah.
it like a business. The making money online is not a matter of skill, will. So how much willpower are you going to put towards getting educated and then taking action on that consistently? And when you run into challenges, being persistent through the process in order to actually get to the results that you actually desire. So that it's all personal challenges that people run into. There's very rare that I run into people that just absolutely, like, when people don't have the skill, it's just like, hey, just go get the skill, go get a program, go get a
Yeah.
class.
Yeah.
There's so many tools and resources.
Yeah, sure. So
I mean,
another,
a great example is how to do an SMS campaign.
okay. Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I just cut it off. I was like, maybe you wanted to go somewhere else. That's all good. Just I was trying to
No,
run an
no,
SMS
it's okay.
campaign,
I
right? I
like
never did
it.
it before. My my assistant, she was actually off at the time, and I was like, I had a decision to make. I could either A, just forget about it and keep, just say, hey, I'll just do it later, or I could just figure out how to do it. So I literally went online and just started researching myself. I figured it out in like 45 minutes. I created a whole SMS chat bot, with just one single sequence. But the fact is I set it up and it didn't even take me that long to do it.
Yeah, sure. So my next question was about the mindset. So also the mindset is important in this field at this point in your expertise as a drop shipping expert and e-commerce expert. Mindset is one of the most important things, because if you don't have the right mindset, you cannot build a successful business. Is correct?
Oh, absolutely. I have a phrase I like to say: if your mind ain't right, your grind ain't right. Meaning that if your mindset isn't in the right place with the activity that you take, you're not going to be able to see the results that you want to see. So like if you're, like a lot of people, I believe specifically, they have, the dreams and goals like way up here, and then their mindset and work ethic is like way down here, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a gap, right? And before you can get to that goal and that you desire, like your mindset has to like surpass, even that personally, so you can be able to really be effective in the things that you're implementing.
Yeah, sure. I want to ask the last thing, and then we finish with this episode. Last thing that I want to ask is this: is there is anything that I didn't ask to you about e-commerce, drop shipping, that you can want to share with our audience, or people that want to start with their e-commerce business?
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of stuff already. Honestly, like in terms of like the fundamentals and the mechanics, it's really like a matter of just diving in and getting in there. And the funny thing is like people ask like all the time is that, oh, well, what if like, something happens and, it's another recession or a depression or something happens. And the funny thing is like I always like to ask people like, are people like shopping online? Like that's the equivalent of like the question that you just asked me, right? Like will people stop, especially when you sell physical products, like will people stop ordering stuff from like, retailers? Will people stop ordering stuff from like Amazon? Are people going to stop ordering stuff from like any website on the internet? And
Yeah,
honestly, the answer is no, right? It's just going to happen at a
for
higher
sure.
frequency. So the thing is just have the faith, trust the fact that you can have success, and it's really just a matter. The only reason that you think that you can, if you're listening to this, is just your confidence level hasn't been built up yet, simply because you just don't have the skill level to match, right? So just go out, get the skills, invest in yourself. The more that you take action, the more that you start to have some small wins, the higher your confidence level is going to become, and ultimately on the back of that confidence increasing, the amount of energy and effort that you put towards what you're pursuing is going to increase, which is ultimately going to increase your results.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Ernest, for this great interview. I really appreciate. And I'm sure also you guys that are watching this episode
Not a
of
problem.
Stop
Thanks for having me.
are loving it. So thank you so much, Ernest. Thank you, guys. I'm Silvia Galati from Affilify, and this was Unstoppables. See you on the next episode. Thanks, Ernest. Thank you so much.